Yeah, I'm still trying to make, I'm still trying to find how best to use this thing. I am not used to doing this at all. But yeah, so quick updates. Where do I start? I'm just trying to make this quick so I can just be able to like edit it and everything. But quick updates, profession wise, business wise. So yeah, I've been working in the renewable industry on a more of a sales, business development, relationship building, and problem solving basis for the last 3 months. At my friend's company, Starkey Electrical and Stark EV, and just yeah, and it's been quite an experience, to be honest. Learning B2B sales, very difficult, but high upside. It's a high leverage game. Been connected with a lot of successful people that Stuart has put me forward to. Stuart being my friend who owns the business, and he's been in business for about 15 plus years. And they've done quite well for themselves. So yeah, I do class Stuart as a mentor, as a big brother, that sort of thing. Yada yada yada. He's the white guy in the black guy's videos. But yeah, it's been quite the experience. So I was pretty much there. I think I need to speak whilst looking at the camera a bit more. But I was there on as an employee, business development manager. That's how I sort of came about into the company. And yeah, just sort of got to a point where it was like I didn't feel like I was expressing my creative edge as an entrepreneur, and yeah, I was starting to lose touch a little bit, and they just had someone from admin go away, depart from the company. So I ended up doing a few bits that they were doing and just to like chip in and help. But that ended up just sort of overweighing what I ideally intended to come in and do. But yeah, greatest thing was having some communication time. Well, was communication, just communicating with you like, hey man, because around the same time I was trying to run my own business as well, so that conversation came about, and from his perspective, he saw it as well. He was slightly distracted, in that case, if you're not necessarily, solely within this business, and I had my thinking behind it as well. So in that case, a proposal for me being on just commission came about, and I countered that and I said, well, okay, that's fine, but if commission is going to be, the basis of compensation, then ideally I would like to come in as a company. So rather me being an employee again, your company contracts my company to provide the very same service as the responsibilities I was handling already from a sales perspective. So be it the cold calling and the cold emails and the relationship building for new business, right? For new leads, for new prospects, for new closures. So yeah, that was fine, but that was all through text. So ideally, we need to sort of like sit down and have a conversation. So whilst that was going on, I was quite confused at that point because I did not know exactly what I wanted to sort of step into business wise. And I'd always knew what business, I'd always had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I'd started, my own brands. So at that point, WearLivin was in the mix, and I just set up a store. I will go into, I guess, a separate video on how WearLivin, why I stopped at its peak, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's all out of my own doing, really. But that's for another video, because I feel like touching on those lessons I learned is very key, and how that sort of happened anyways. But I just set up, a Etsy store, and with a few personalized items, and then, between me and bro having that conversation on text and to us actually speaking in person, there were like 3-4 sales, right, on Etsy. and people had just purchased this custom personalized belly chain. And one purchase was from the UK, and I did not, I had completely forgotten about the whole store. In fact, some of the product descriptions were completely all the way wrong. So what I end up doing is oh wow, somebody's just inquired. One person inquired, one purchase from the UK. Ideally, they were now looking to have a return because it was far too late. It was a gift. Then after that, 2, 3 sales came about from the US, and I'm like, whoa. I had not been in the jewelry business for 2 years, just set up some dummy, store on Etsy, and first couple purchases are from the States. So that was a big key indicator. So yeah, that was going on, and Pristine-wise, I'd started trying to recruit. I'd practically recruiting cleaners and put it in the job ad, and had applicants, and I was interviewing applicants. But at the same time, I didn't set up any clients for them because I didn't want clients and then not have the labor to facilitate those clients. So it was a bit of a sticky one because the very same, oh, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. The hay fever is really onto me. Forgot to take tablets. But so same labor, do require clients as well. So yeah, and whilst all that was going in, Big Bro was like, hey yo, this opportunity just came through, 900 panels for this logistics company, and at one building, and at another building is 300 panels. So can you do a quotation for those panels to be cleaned via your company? Right? So that is all going on before Bro and I have a conversation. Then I'd also went on to grab my old part-time job because I was like, am I really gonna still do this? Like, what's going on? That sort of thing. So yeah, the lady was kind enough to give me back my job, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to be in the most liquid position ever, regardless of what I then decided to do, but just still be liquid. So yeah, all that happened, and then Rose and I finally had that conversation, and yeah, the conversation about commission-based sort of structure came about, and that was fine. But whilst all that was going on, and before Bro and I had that conversation, right, I was in the office, one of his office, right, and I'm doing my sales and everything, but they have a CRM. It's not the best, the CRMs, the best CRMs are new, but the most efficient still working CRMs are old. And most people are not going to change their softwares because they just work, right? So that CRM, houses communication logs, quotations, job sheets, be it even just a call out charge, be it electrical work, be it a quotation for solar, for EV charge points. So it houses clients, customers, suppliers. And there had been individuals in there individuals and businesses that have, inquired and got that free site survey, that free site visit where the engineer goes there, ideally Stuart, assesses the feasibility of the electrics, the power supply, or even the roof, whether be solar can be added on here or EV charge points. And from that visit, then follows the proposal and the quotation, right, with the price. So there had been people that had engaged with, vast majority of people and businesses. And some people were just not necessarily in the position to accept that quotation, including businesses as well. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they have been using that software Click or that CRM for the last probably since 2019, right? So there's individuals from like 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, all those years that have not been engaged with at all because they don't utilize paid marketing, they don't utilize SMS marketing, they also don't utilize email marketing. So there has been no inquiry to just check in on them, find out where they are, where they at, with their last service, or whether they still intend to go forward for it, or quite simply, yeah, or even just upselling, current services that we're selling and products. So as that was not in place, why don't I just put the tripod on the table? But yeah, whilst all that was going on, right? So yeah, there's no engagements going on. So in essence, that's a leak. That's a revenue leak. And that's no good because that could be increasing the bottom line figures. Client retention, customer retention, very, very important. So whilst I was calling up old businesses, I was also calling up, a proportion of old ones, just checking in, and I termed it as a well-being call, Yeah, so whilst that was going on, I just thought, well, since the salary is about to be taken away and, there's this leak, this gap of a problem that requires a solution, why don't I just propose my salary being transformed or transferred into a management fee, since I'm going to ideally be working under my own company. And this management fee will then look into the external external revenue contributing factors outside of, new business. So that client retention, that nurturing. So yeah, when I mentioned that, Big Bro practically was like, "Oh, okay, you come up with the management fee." So that conversation ended up as come up with a proposal with a commission structure, with the management fee figure that you have in mind, and also I had proposed, paid marketing. You need to get on the digital marketing side of things. Just having a company that's doing publications and award entries, you don't necessarily see your return on investment rather than directly hitting, your targeted audience with exactly what you're offering them, with exactly that solution provider, rather than them try and stumble upon and find you. You're finding them before they even pick up the phone. So, yeah, the proposal sent across, and yeah, for the 900 panels, 600 panels, yeah, we worked out a number, and that number got put into the price that, because Starkey Electrical is looking to then fix the solar panels for those logistic companies that were damaged, as well as the inverter that was damaged as well, further to then, cleaning required. So my price had to fit into Starkey's price. Then that made the whole price that we then presented to the client, in which the client, the business accepted the quotations. So now we're just awaiting a purchase order, which then follows through to a date. But I am going there on Friday to see the two sites, and it's going to be a very interesting one. I'm going to document this all. When I started my cleaning company, the last thing I was thinking about was, oh, we're going to start cleaning solar panels. It was a thought, when I started working with the Starkeys, like, oh, cleaning company sort of thing could clean the panels. And even, Stuart had proposed it, he had spoke about it one or two times, but actually seeing it materialize is crazy, Like, even when I was trying to come around with the price for the 900 panels and the 300 panels, I was calling around businesses out of hours. Very few were picking up. And the ones that were picking up were like, man, what? 900 panels, 300 panels? That's way outside my bubble. So, yeah, starting off industrially is just is pretty sick. It's pretty sick in the sense that just learning, just planning, project planning, team building, right? Just the craftsmanship of knowing how to, clean them properly to perfection, and the documentation, right? I'm gonna be there documenting the whole thing. But just kicking things off with an industrial unit is insane, and the company has 13 other sites nationally, and they're already, looking to have the very same thing done for all the other sites, which is insane. So yeah, you definitely command authority. You command financial compensation when you're able to execute something like this, which is key and ideal. Not only do we install, we also maintain, we provide maintenance services. So the maintenance services is ideally a good cash flow bit. And I said to bro, ideally it would be great if we can advertise the maintenance service on its own as well, and we can split profit. So yeah, that's exciting. That's really on that side. And then yeah, I set up TikTok shop, because yeah, boom, like TikTok shop is really kicking off. I feel like I'm not looking at the camera, and that's not a good thing. TikTok shop is really setting off. People shop our videos now, and that's been very consistent in China. And you can fulfill your orders on TikTok without, Shopify. So that's different payouts, different payouts. And if you had issues with Shopify or current underlying issues like myself, then quite simply going on to, say for example, like I got like a credit balance on my Shopify from what happened in the past, which I'll explain in a different video. But yeah, with TikTok shop, different payout. So running organic content over there, unique generator, unique UGC content. Forgot the meaning of the abbreviation, but UGC content on TikTok, right? Coupled with just the personal branding, the personal touch, the community building. That alone would then pay for the credit balance, right? And any other credit underlying factors. So yeah, very much confident in that sort of aspect, and then how we can bring about that. It's all about just building that team and building great people who want to work with you and actually create stuff with you, and being very creative and taking a dive, because I'm looking at it right now is like, with PrestineLivin, right? PrestineLivin, I feel like, ideally I don't want to spread myself too thin. I don't want to be working with other clients, and I haven't serviced my client very, very well. So PrestineLivin is very much attached to the consultancy business. And just to touch back on that whole situation with Stu and, coming in as a company, in fact, he was proposing like, you come in as a solution provider, even if you're able to assist me in saving money for a particular project where we have, say for example, there's a solar install to be done, materials cost 15,000 and you're able to find materials for 10,000. So therefore you've saved me 5,000. In that case, I wouldn't mind giving you 2,500 for a premium for helping me save. And that's what business owners are quite simply looking for. That's what, the seasoned entrepreneurs do. They save on those cogs, on those cost of goods sold or cost of services in order, to maximize the bottom line. It's not just about dipping and dabbing on those taxes. It's more to it. So he even gave me an example, EV chargers, there's parking bays, and in those parking bays, there's line paintings or line markings. You could see even like a green parking bay with a white charger painted on it, just to indicate, oh yeah, there's an EV charger here. So he said to me, if you're able to find a contractor that could do it cheaper than our current contractor, then you could be eating off that, that saving, that premium. So yeah, in essence, it definitely could have not been a sales and marketing agency, consultancy business, most definitely.
And I've been doing quite a bit of that last year when I was trying to kick things off with my own agency, like sort of a consultancy biz for lead generation, B2B. Um, and I stayed consistent. I think I was seeing great results. But yeah, I was having meetings with people from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, the UK. So that was a great proper experience, you know. It's crazy how it just fits into what I'm trying to do now. So yeah, further to that, Stu had also referred me to a friend of his, and they, oh man, that's just another story. But you know, another successful £1 million business friend of his to do the very same sort of salesy things, you know. And but ideally, I want to focus on Stu's company at most for now. You know, given the acceptance of that proposal, and really utilize the management fee, you know, to set up great systems. And yeah, at the moment, I'm just learning quite a lot about sales and taking as much game as I can, YouTube, audiobooks, books, everything that I can, you know, just learning, consuming people around me. And I want to start, you know, meeting people more. So yeah, then building a team, obviously, you know, appointment setters, you know, client success managers, just a, a, a great remote team, you know, of just the consultancy biz. So yeah, I mean, there's no limit in sales. So ideally, since I already started with the hard stuff, I want to stay with the hard stuff, you know, targeting and pursuing these large corporations where we know that, okay, this roof, it's a big span roof, it's a massive roof. They have a high electric usage, you know, whether they're doing their operations, whatever it is, they use high electrics, high energy, it's a big roof, you know, ballpark figures for such projects, £500,000 to £1 million, you know, that sort of thing. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we need. And that's where my eyes are. Even if it's like the hardest bit of sales, sales is going to be hard anyways, whether you're trying to sell a £500 product, 50 pound product, 500, 5,000, 50K, 500,000, £5 million project. It's always gonna be hard. But I'd rather start with the hard stuff, you know, because there's a high compensation, you know. Just talking figures out of my head, for example, 500K project, profit comes around to 200 grand, you know, 10% of 200 grand being the 20,000, which is then the commission. That's your take home. That's your take home. Profit. Profit at that, because why? We would have priced in the drone footage, you know what I'm saying? Would have priced in the project management, which is something I'm trying to dabble in to just extend my skill acquisition there, you know. And that was a proposal by Starkey. Hey, you know, do this project management course, I'll fund it, you know, and this will be useful if you decide to sell solar, da 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 da. So yeah, why not if the opportunity is there? So yeah, all the project management stuff, the drone footage, you know, for the marketing stuff will be literally priced in. So that 20K take home. Like, so there's people doing that on a day-to-day basis. You know, there's people closing type of deals like that, 500K, 600, 800, you know, a mil. There's people closing those type of deals, you know, and they have a pipeline of prospects, you know, just awaiting. And the thing about solar is you find the client, you present the solution to them. This is ideally how much you'll be saving on, how much you can get paid back, you know, by the grid, you know, that sort of thing. And with that in mind, they accept the proposal, X amount. This is your payback period, or even coupled with financing solutions that we can find ourselves, you know, through our financing partners. You know, they accept the proposal. However, you have to do a DNO, a direct network operator application, a DNO application, you know, to practically tell your network operator. Some people it's Octopus Energy, some people it's Scottish Power, whatever it is. But you have to tell them that, you know, you're utilizing solar power now, you know, and even with EV charges. So the bigger the size, you know, definitely you're gonna have to do a DNO application. Now, that DNO application takes 3 months at most. So you don't just boom win the client and then boom 20,000. Nah. DNO takes 3 months. Then you got the project, and because the staged payments, you know. So by the time you see that money out, it's been a while, you know. But it's always worth it. It's worth it. You know what I mean? You put the work in, 20 grand, boom. And I'm not closing clients at the moment. I'm just literally presenting you the clients and getting you the site visit, which is the appointment setting, the appointment. And that's where Stewie does his thing, you know, given his experience and just borderline great charm to close the client, given that they like the price. So yeah, opportunities, plenty. Plenty. You know, the more clients we have, right? The more solar panel clients we have, the more business there is for PrestineLivin and Be Cleaning, you know, and the more commissions that come in via the consultancy biz and the referrals from that, you know, and the relationships built. You know, that's me offering the same service that I've managed to put in a case study that has worked, that process, that system on how to acquire a large corporation B2B service, B2B company. And I'm able to replicate it for any other company. So that's now same commission structure or maybe different, but of course a different retainer for the management fee. So yeah, opportunities are there, but everything requires hard work, you know, hard work. So yeah, it's just time blocking and working efficiently and managing my time correctly. That way, you know, I'm best servicing the consultancy biz. It's as if I don't need, it's not like I don't need to look at PrestineLivin. Operations wise, I just need to make sure like there's a team, you know what I'm saying, a ready to work team, or even with a network of people I'll subcontract to. But you know, primarily is the consultancy biz, because that's what's fueling in money for Starkey to pay their workers. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big responsibility. Then yeah, WearLivin. Ideally, it's those, you know, commission, large chunks of commissions that ideally I would like to put into WearLivin. And I'm also doing agricultural projects back in Africa, in Zimbabwe, you know, with family. So, and I've grown up in agriculture. So ideally, that's really what it is. My goal is for the agency to provide time, location, and financial freedom, you know, independence, that sort of thing, and be able to travel out wherever I need to get to, you know, to do to handle business, and yeah, work from anywhere I wish. And that's ideally why I sort of structured this whole thing. But yeah, update wise, that's the professional. Yeah, I'll keep it at this because it's 28 minutes in. I might have to edit this, and you know, so business wise, professional life wise, you know, that's the whole update really. That's practically it. But you know, on to the next one. You know, I'll give y'all updates, the vlog, and just take y'all into this whole journey and how this whole thing is coming together. And yeah, times of hardness and hardship, times of good. Yeah, just gonna take you guys on this ride, on this journey. But yeah, thank you for listening. And I'm just talking to myself. Yeah. Construction.